I'm glad you brought that up, because not all interviewers are good interviewers. This isn't their normal job. This isn't what they do. They might be engineers, or they might be accountants, or they might do other things, but they, if you talk to them later on, you'll find out they absolutely hate interviewing, right? They're interviewing at a time when they don't have time to interview because they need staff. That's why they're interviewing, but at the same time, it's hard to do that because they're so short-staffed. So everybody's sort of, a lot of times in this kind of a stressful mood. But they are not all good. All the questions aren't good. We'll never make them all good. We'll never make them all the way we want them to. We just have to learn how to navigate those things, right? So, I've come from interviews where I thought, they don't even really know anything about me because they asked the wrong questions. That's when I started being more of a politician. I started deciding before I went in what I want them to know about me. And I'm going to incorporate all of those things in the answers to the questions that they ask me. Regardless of what they're asking me, I'm going to elaborate just a little bit more. Because they're interviewing many people. So in order to remember your answers and then later on, kind of discuss among the hiring managers who we want, it's good that they have notes. And that's what makes the phone interview difficult for some people. Personally, I love it because I have all my stuff out here and I feel like I'm cheating. You need to accept the silences. Because on the phone, it's a silence, but when you're in front of them, they're writing down. So it's perfectly acceptable. If you feel like it's been silent for too long, you can always say, would you like me to elaborate? Yeah, or did I answer your question? So find those words that are going to help you throw it back over to them. And then another cautionary tale, make sure you're in a comfortable place when that phone call comes through. Now sometimes you don't know, they call you and you want to take the call on the spot. Make sure you're not, downtown, or, make sure you're in a fairly quiet place, or say, can I call you back in a few minutes? You might even be driving, in which case you shouldn't have picked up the phone call anyway. But really, I have been at home, no kids in the house. I knew to think of that, right? And the dog started barking. There's no possible way I could do what I normally do, and that's open the door and say, knock it off, right? So yeah, the dog started barking, and I said, I decided to incorporate them into the conversation. I said, well, I bet you never heard dogs barking during an interview before. And they laughed, and they said, what kind of dogs do you have? And so one of my dogs was a basset hound, and that always gets a aw. And so I had dog lovers on the phone, and it all worked out well. But really, try to keep the distractions to a minimum if you have that phone interview.